United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. And would you please call roll call?
Bill Bell,
Here.
Jack Ryan,
Here.
Ken Sebastian, Daniel Browning,
Here.
Donna McIntyre is not here. Amy Meyer. Here. Norm Warner.
Here.
Bill Wolf.
Here.
Alfio Seika.
Thank you. First item of business. As the public has signed in, I'm assuming. I think I saw you get up and sign. So, approval of our minutes, October 21st. They are before you.
I didn't see anything wrong, I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Abstain. I think I abstained too because I wasn't here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Old business is to look at continuation of review. I want to go back to the minutes because we had a discussion of what a minimum house was. And when Amy was here, you want to tell what you found out?
Yes, so on state standards for square footage, we don't actually have a standard set by the state for a generalized dwelling. We have a minimum standard size for manufactured homes of 320 square feet, a maximum allowance for tiny homes at 400 square feet. But as for a general stick-built or regular dwelling, there are no state standards. They leave that to the county to make a decision.
So I guess if we deal with that first off, as we review this, because we were in question. One place that said 650, one place that said 720.
650 was what the ordinance would say, correct?
Yes.
Are we all right with that?
We have traditionally been doing 720 based on, I think, that conversational agreement, but, so if you guys want to keep us at the 650 that the ordinance says, then we just need to leave that ordinance alone, I would say, right?
Correct.
My opinion is the smaller the better anyway.
So, can I ask a structural question here? So what is the plan? Go through everything, then present it to the commissioners?
I thought we were going to take it to them a bite at a time.
That's what I was hoping, but I didn't know what we were planning. So, because that's gonna require a public hearing for every single one of those.
Right.
If we give them the whole thing, then it's gonna be right back to a UDO type.
Oh, absolutely.
So if we can get what we can get done tonight, and if we can schedule on your next meeting.
All right.
What's your pleasure, guys? 650, 720, 600?
Well, I just stick with 650, that's what the ordinance currently says.
Okay, so we're fine with the existing ordinance. All right, so now we covered those other things, and
Hey, Bill, quick clarification. What happens if one comes in at 500?
then they don't issue a permit, correct?
Correct.
They don't, because there's the gap between the tiny home and then a normal home between 4 and 650. Would we just say our tiny home is less than 650?
400 is the max on the tiny home there.
With state.
For the state.
For the
The
state.
tiny homes normally are on wheels, aren't they?
They at least start on wheels, but I think you can take them.
Or skid, slide.
Yeah, you can take them off that.
So the concern is the
There's just-
gap between 400 and 650, you're saying?
Yeah, so if someone comes in and presents that, and so, okay, which direction do we go? Just point it one way or the other.
Well, for tiny homes, they have to be in a tiny home development, right?
Well,
Stacy?
we currently in Owen County's ordinances don't address tiny homes at all.
Okay, I thought at Hickory Hills, they had an area
That's
for tiny
campground.
homes.
That's campground.
It runs differently because it's a campground.
Okay.
Anybody thinking we should lower the threshold from 650?
I was just thinking what might make sense is say anything, because you've got the state minimum, and then we can set it, you know, wherever we want
Set it
for our
there.
minimum, as long as it's above that.
We just can't go below that.
So you're saying the 649 on down
Yeah.
is considered a tiny home?
Right.
Is that all right?
400 is actually the state maximum.
It's the state maximum, so that's
It has
different.
to be 400 or less to be considered a tiny home.
So that's less.
So we
That's
can't do, we have to say that if you do regulate tiny homes, then you would still have that gap there.
So
because you
20
have
by
to stop
20.
for-
You have to go outside to change your mind.
I know I used to live in a house that was, when I was an old garage converted, that was 21 by 30, 620 square feet, and that for one person was roomy.
So
So
it got people who
650
wanted
is-
600 square feet. There's eventually 3 of us in it. It got a little crowded.
Right.
But when I first got married, it was fine.
Could you add a comment in there? Variances between 400 and 650 would be considered on a case-by-case basis. Just so there's some way of addressing it.
Okay, because, you know, if you got one, you want a single person living in a house,
Right.
it's not so bad.
Right.
You know, you don't want to put a family of 4 in there, because what's your septic system like? You know, what's the requirement for a septic system
Septic,
for a house
well,
for
yeah.
400 square feet versus 1,000 square feet? You're gonna have to be something on that.
So,
Yeah, case by case would be.
yeah, just a thought on verbiage is, because I'm assuming, help me here, does that have to come to this body, or is that something the building department can make the call on?
Once the
case by
rule's
case?
in there, if they adhere to the rule, it just goes automatic.
So that would be my thought, say anything between 400 and less than 650, case-by-case basis by the building administrator. So then that person can check, you know, well and septic and all those other things to say, okay, it doesn't meet, but it meets all the other requirements.
So what if they come with a 620 that they want to put a foundation under? Is that still okay? Or would that be considered a stick-built home?
If they want to put a foundation under it,
I'm talking pour a footer and lay block.
I mean, that's always a better option for construction on
But,
homes anyway.
but the
they
minimum
have
would be
to-
650, right?
Yeah, if their minimum is if our minimum is 650.
You see what I'm saying?
Then they'd have to get approval for less.
So
from
then they would
someone.
have to come to the planning commission
Either-
and get a variance?
Board,
BZA.
yeah,
Or
Board
BZA,
of
I mean.
Zoning. Board of Zoning would have to get variances for less than 650.
Yeah, I'd be okay with the stipulation in there, since there is a gap of 250 square feet.
You want to rephrase what you said so we can get it?
Put that in a motion, Bill.
Okay, let me think through that one. All right, so the motion would be variances to the 650 minimum square footage will be considered on a case-by-case basis. Is it by building administrator or BVC?
BZA.
By the BVA.
I'll second that. I mean, it sounds like sensible. I know people, there have been cases for people who have been wanting to do tiny home type things, and you can call it whatever you want. If it's 649 square foot or 401, it's a tiny home.
Well, I guess
Yeah, it's tiny.
I've always looked out there at Tilden Keith's office, and that's 600 square feet, and 2 people could live very comfortably if that was a house. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think we need to address it, you know.
And I do see the pendulum swinging.
Yeah, I think people are going smaller.
Yeah.
When I went in the real estate business in 1978, Heritage Hills had a 1,650 square foot minimum house, and people said, my God, why would
That's huge.
anybody want a house that big?
Yeah.
And now, that little thing.
But I also think having the board consider anything less than 650 is smart on you guys' part, because when you have a family of 4 or a family of 6 or 7, and then, you know, at that point, is that enough room for them? So that would be good.
Or somebody builds it and rents it out to.
Yeah,
It's a
that's the
people
problem.
once.
They build it and then they decide to move and they sell it to a family with 10 kids.
Mhm.
All right, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. are you here to talk about?
Well, there's a petition down the street from me, and so I'm going to the BZA meeting tomorrow. But while I was up here today, and I've got a bunch of documents, and some from the building department, and there's a lot of things in here that made me work a lot harder because they don't match. The addresses don't match.
Where are you at? Where are you talking about?
Well, like this form, let me get my
On
glasses.
that, where's the property?
Oh, the property's on Pottersville.
Okay.
But there's one document here that has it as 1230 Pottersville, and there's another that has it as 1240 Pottersville. And then this form in particular, this form made me super mad. This I got from the planning department, right? And so this is for the meeting tomorrow at the BCA. And here, this says, this is for conditional use. That's what they're applying for.
Okay.
And this is my first rodeo, so I'm starting from scratch. But then on this form, it says variance. So then I have to figure out, what does that mean? But then,
So it's a conditional use variance. It's all the above, right?
Correct.
Yes.
And conditional use variance, that we said, as long as you're doing that there, that's fine. When you're done with it, it reverts back to what it was. It's not a permanent variance.
So somebody else could come in there and do the same thing
Right.
without coming to the board first.
That protects the property owners and the county from somebody buying it and running a commercial and then selling it to somebody else to run commercial. When that person leaves that property, this becomes null and void and it starts over. That's why we do those.
okay,
You see what I'm saying?
I do now.
Because somebody could come in and say, okay, I'm gonna have a little store here. And then the next person comes in and goes, hey, we're gonna build widgets, thousands of them. That
Makes sense.
variance would not cover them. They
Okay,
would have to start over from scratch, you would have a public hearing. So that's kind of a protection for everybody.
okay, I like that.
We had one of those out here on Hart Street, where we gave them a conditional variance. I don't know that they ever actually, or Hartstravel, I'm sorry. I don't know if they ever went into serious production, but we didn't want them to then sell that, parlay that to somebody else, and us inherit whatever problems came with it.
They
So
have
that's
it
why
for
we do,
sale now, so they're planning on
it is for sale?
it. Yeah.
Okay. So that's why we do that. So it's a conditional use variance.
well, that's cleared up, so thank you for that.
Yep.
So then on the bottom of this form, it tells me where to look for something, conditional use requested, and it tells me to go specifically to these sections and chapters. And this is not right. When I Googled it, or when I went onto the site, it's not even, it was in like chapter 15 or something, or 16 or something like that, but it took me forever to figure that out. It's just not accurate information. So that was incredibly frustrating for me. So I don't know why that form, it just seems like I don't even know why those numbers are there because they don't relate to anything.
So that form's probably been around
It's
before,
an old form.
yeah. So we need to get the form updated at some point to the new numbers. Now, I don't know if is that a vote requirement or is that just you update it?
I think I just need to update the form.
But the thing is, if we're working on the ordinances right now, and we are, then we need to update it after we get them changed, because we don't want to reference it and then it'd be wrong again.
Exactly.
Now, this tell you how it could have been when that property was owned by a man that lived over on Pottersville Road, okay? Because this doesn't have any frontage on Pottersville except for the easement. His plan was to develop that, and at that time, the county had a 30-foot minimum roadway. This road there at the top is 30 feet. He was going to one day put a housing development in. Then the rules changed. He's passed away, but the rules have changed. So without a big variance, that could never be developed anyway because of that frontage problem.
So then also on this form, this is from the building department, it says the BZA meeting is November 20, is on next year, and it's tomorrow.
So their notarization form, they put the wrong year apparently on to allow for it, but often we get those forms and they don't even put a date in them because we don't know when they're gonna come before the board and the date gets filled in later, so it's still notarized. So.
I just thought there was one other thing. I don't know if this is you guys or the BZA. Well, I think one thing that I noticed when I pulled up the person that owns it now, and they listed the business, they listed the property, it's under a business name, under their business name, but they listed it as a consulting other business. But it's not that, it's not a consulting business, they're pulling water out of there. So how can they write other?
Norm, help me with my memory here. They pull that water, and then like on the I-69 project, good example, they would go in and they're wanting pure water to flush down sinkholes to see where that water comes out. So they are consulting road builders, but they need that water to do the test. Does that make sense?
This is actually for that bottling plant.
Yeah.
They're starting to bottle? Is that what they're?
Here?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
So they're doing the same thing as they're doing out on,
Keeler.
Keeler?
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, this is the original, originally came here, I think it was 07. I think you might have the paperwork in front of you, I don't have it.
They
We had
opened
it
in
last month.
2017.
2017.
This place has been bottling since then?
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's before that.
That I don't know, that's when, the guy that-
At our last BZA meeting, I had the original variance paperwork, and it's been going on for quite a while.
I think it was from 17.
Was it 17?
On this property right here?
Mhm.
We're not talking about Keeler Road now?
No.
Either way, this is going to a bottling plant. The representatives were here last month. Really, it's really something probably better discussed tomorrow with the BZA.
Yeah. Yeah, we have no footing, or no preview over this.
But I thought we just gave them permission to take out tankers full of water that
So-
they're gonna flush.
So here's your other problem.
Water.
Do we have 80,000-pound semis going out in there with water in them?
yes,
Because if so, that's an issue.
That's an issue.
they're there in the morning,
Yeah.
and they're there about 4 o'clock.
Which, to be quite honest with you, we're totally out of order to discuss this because it's an open application for tomorrow night. And I can't even suggest what I would do, but, yeah, there's questions, obviously, but we
And
really
there's
can't.
questions all over these forms, I mean,
Right.
these forms, just what they said and what they did don't match, you know, I mean,
Well,
so how does that happen?
I'll say this, you're well within your,
Right, to be concerned.
you're well within your right to request that the paperwork be correct,
It was 2017, yeah.
right? I mean, is that a nice way of saying it?
Two of the guys up here are on BZA.
Yeah, you gotta, so we gotta be
I'm
careful.
sorry,
Yeah.
I
Now-
don't know.
Well, and I don't think you're trying to sway anybody, which
I'm
is,
not.
would be a problem. I'm just saying, it's not outside of the realm to ask for the paperwork to be right, so.
Yeah, I mean, and then I think that when I came here tonight, because I know you guys are not from BZA, but when I asked about it today, they said about the questions on this paperwork, because I was here for several hours today, because I just kept getting caught in some loop where I couldn't get through something. And they said, come here tonight and talk about the forms and.
The form we can talk about, because that's coming out of the building department, she's the administrator for both groups. So, but like I said, while we're going through the ordinances, updating them now wouldn't do us any good. We need to update them once the ordinances are done and ratified and all that.
So what,
Really, we should just wipe that out for right now.
Start over.
so how is a property, how do you determine how a property is is agricultural or industrial? Is that an ordinance thing?
So when we did the comprehensive plan, there was, what are we on, third iteration now?
Yeah.
So we just passed a new comprehensive plan in 2020,
Right.
and that designated every parcel in Owen County to be something. Most of it's agricultural because that's what the population wanted it to be. There's some commercial along 43, there's some properties that were designated as residential, possible development along 43 and 46.
Is commercial, is it called commercial or is it industrial?
Well, there's both down
Okay.
there. And the other thing to keep in mind is, you can petition to have them changed, and then it comes to a hearing, and then, so, just because it's agricultural today doesn't mean it couldn't be bought and redesignated as residential or as industrial, or, and then what we do is we'll take the comprehensive plan as written, we will look at, is this a place where we want industrial to be as a county? Or is this a place where we want, residential to be as a county? And then we make a decision, sometimes it's popular, most times it's not, and we go on. But that was all done in 2020 for the entire
Okay.
county. And a majority of the county is agricultural just because that's exactly what people wanted. They wanted it to stay agricultural. And then the other thing you have to take into account is where do we have infrastructure, water, sewer, and those places, there's not very many of them in Owen County. You get south of Spencer, west of Spencer, there's nothing. So if you're gonna build a housing development, and you don't want to rig 50, 60 wells and septic tanks, then you have to be able to connect to some facilities. And that's all close into to Spencer. So.
Yeah, and I would add, because this is my first meeting being on this commission, and I read through the comprehensive plan in detail, and I will say, first off, it's very well written, and I would say if most of the population of the county read through it and realized that that's the guiding principles for this body to use to make decisions, there's just a world of value in reading the comprehensive plan. It's thorough, it's complete.
And where do I get that at?
Yeah, it's, Heather can probably help with
It's
that.
online, I
It
think.
is online. It's on, should be a link to it on
From the
my,
building department.
yes.
Okay.
There should be a link to it on our it's okay, on our webpage. So, if you go into Owen County Government's website and then go to departments, go to building and planning, and there'll be a link to the comprehensive plan there.
And if I was you, just before your meeting tomorrow, I would start with what is that currently, we probably already know what it is, but, you could see not only what that is, but what the property around it is, because that needs to all be taken into consideration. We don't want an industrial park slap dab in the middle of a residential area, or we would hope not to do that. So, just something to keep in mind.
Okay.
Like I said, we probably can't get too deep into the weeds on it because it's not our purview, so.
I think that's all I had. I mean, yeah.
Thank you for being concerned.
And never feel like you're stepping out of bounds because you're asking questions. That's perfectly fine. And we're all here to do the same thing, I
Well, I mean,
hope.
I don't know what I'm doing, so
Yeah.
clearly, I think that's all I.
That also doesn't put you in a boat by yourself.
Yeah.
Depending on who you talk to, I mean.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you for coming and asking
Now I
questions.
leave?
Oh, you can stay.
You can stay or leave, yeah.
Totally up to you.
Good. Well, thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Okay, going through
Sure, thank you.
the restriction. We have tonight mobile home park development standards, where we left off in the last meeting. And like if you would, if you just read the first page, and we'll talk about it, and then move on to the next. So there's something that jumps out that we need to change.
So I don't think, I mean, the numbers are short of a 1976 mobile home. I don't think you're gonna find anything less than 60 feet now. But then there'll be ones that are already out there that probably are close, so.
Right.
I don't know if we need to change it or not, but it is something to consider.
Well, prior to, reason for that being there, prior to 1976, there were no standards.
Right.
No,
And
there
they
are.
had aluminum wiring, all sorts of problems.
Yeah, you have to now have some special research done if you're going to bring in a home that's older than 76, just to prove that it is still safe because of that.
So, but we do have a issue where people are going and buying these things used and rolling them up in here and no one knows they're there. I mean, we were up there looking at that. So what year was that one? Do we even know?
I don't have any information on that one.
So that, you see my concern.
Mhm.
And that one's sticking 10 feet out in the road,
Yeah, it is.
Go.
so.
And no one drives in the road anyway, they're not the side ditch.
Well, they did put a cone at the end of it so you could see it.
Any existing mobile home park would be grandfathered in if we were to change that.
Right.
Correct.
Mhm.
How many new mobile, for my education, how many new mobile home parks might have been constructed, say, over the last 5 or 10 years?
I don't know of any. There was one guy trying to do one up, and we shut that up by Gosport. Remember that
Yeah.
guy? We shut that one down because he was gonna bring used ones in from other places, and it just, you know, you're talking about dropping people's property value.
Right.
at that point.
And that's why I was bringing it up. I was wondering, because I would think most municipalities, counties would see this as a very negative attribute of housing stock being added to the community. Would this be something, historically it's been here, but in the future, I think when I read in this comprehensive plan, I didn't see much of any mention around this. So I'm wondering if this is a situation where this is removed, the old ones would be grandfathered in, the old ones would be removed, and then the bullet point is just considered on a case-by-case basis. Because I would think any new ones coming in to the county, someone wanting to do that, you'd want to look at it on a case-by-case basis.
They'd have to come to the planning commission to get variance, make it to a mobile home court anyway, correct? So they would all be case by case.
Right. Well, and the fear is the 5 or more, so you get the Patricksburg. There was a guy wanting to pull 2 in there. Doesn't meet this criteria, but he was still dragging in, you know, used mobile homes.
Yeah, 4 is just as bad as 5.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that is the state definition, that 5.
Is it?
So I'm just throwing that out there, because it seems like we'd want to consider all those on a case-by-case basis, rather than having,
Square footage and everything?
yeah, the more verbiage you give, the more latitude it gives someone to say it fits 3 out of 4 of the requirements
Honestly,
versus.
it would be hard in this county to put in 5 or more units and not have city sewer.
Exactly,
I mean,
yeah.
we actually have one major, Cassidy's, I think, I was about the only route, unless you count the campground. But, you know, and that's been there as long as I can remember.
Yeah, and to me, a campground is a whole different animal than a mobile home park.
Wait, we're getting ready to see regulation campground.
Yeah, it's kind of covered in this too.
Yeah, we got some problems with our campground down there below Freedom.
The one that they come in and ask about?
They got permanent residents in those campers. So I'm told
That's a building,
from the census.
department. So Bill, what are you thinking, just, when it says mobile home park,
To me, park is the key piece.
take it on a case-by-case basis, is that what you're saying?
I mean, because we've got
Instead of
several,
minimum square footage and everything?
yeah, because we've got several pages here on it.
Mhm.
And to me, simple is better. And that's why I asked the question is how many we had come up. And so if you're telling me, well, we got one a year that comes up, or two a year that comes up, okay, it's worthwhile writing some standards to that. But if you tell me we haven't had one for 5 years, to me, that is a case-by-case
It's
scenario.
probably longer than that.
So I think just mobile home park development, meaning new.
Yeah.
uh,
Where we got a sticky wicket on the one was it had been there had been mobile homes on that property, 3 of them, I think, and they wanted to go back to that,
mhm,
and we kind of shot that down, so.
Yeah.
What the grandfather did.
Well, yeah, once you tear them down, you got 60 days, then you're not grandfathered anymore,
Right,
so,
yeah.
and they gotta go back on the same footprint, so.
Chrissy, if you flip over to the next page, go ahead. Each mobile home must contain a minimum of 5 acres. You got 5 mobile homes on 5 acres. That's gonna hustle a septic system.
Yeah, it will.
I mean,
Yeah.
I won't say impossible, but.
Well, and what happens when that septic system fails 5 years down the road, and now where do you put the new one?
Are we all clear on page number 1?
Are you guys looking to change anything about that mobile home park, just so I have my notes right? Acreage wise or number of mobile homes wise, or are we just considering continuing case by case on that?
I think anything would be subject to a variance.
Should we change that 1976 number to something more current? I'm sure the codes have changed from
They have.
1976, let's say 2000 or even 1990.
Yeah.
90 is only 14 years ago, difference once it started there. 95, 2000.
I mean, a 2000's gonna have some age on it, a single mobile home.
Still talking 25
You know,
years.
the problem in moving older mobile homes, ask Ralph Swords, you put them
They will
going,
crack
and
and-
start going down the road and they fall apart.
Right.
Yeah.
We do.
They weren't made for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, which is what you've got if you're pulling it down the highway.
If it was 2000, that would encourage, it would discourage bringing old dumpy trailers in and trying to load them up on 5 acres and send them in a trailer park.
Right.
And I mean, you still find junk trailers that are 25 years old,
Oh.
don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do people look like?
Well, most people that are doing this aren't telling anybody, they're just doing it.
Yeah.
But when you catch them, you can red tag them, and
What's your pleasure?
I think we update that date, that year on the mobile home construction code.
I don't think that year is meant as a year, it's just saying.
It's just
The
saying,
codes are-
that's when the
Right.
codes were set.
So you would, you
But if
would
we had
be,
something in there stating that no mobile homes older than 90,000.
As long as it meets construction codes of 2000 or better, it can be however old, as long as it's been updated and reworked too, you know?
I
It's not
think,
saying that trailer can't be older than 2000, I mean, the
Exceed federal and
construction
state.
codes have to, needs to be, meet construction codes of 2000.
I think if you have the state law is, it used to be, so, that if you have a mobile home park, and that is, you as the landlord own the land, someone owns the mobile home, or you own it, you're renting it, but that if you have to have 5 to meet the state criteria, then the law used to be that no mobile home could be over 10 years old that went into a park. Because a few years ago, I bought a mobile home that was 11 years old, and it had been at Cataract Lake, and someone used it one weekend a year. I mean, it looked like a brand new one. and they retired and put a double wide and traded it in. And the guy up in Ottawa said, it's 10 years old, it's gotta go on an owned piece of property. You can really buy some pretty nice mobile homes with that.
Yeah, and that's,
Whether that rule's still there now, but it was 30 years ago.
yeah, and that's the way, I'm reading mobile home park, the word park is, I own a bunch of acreage and I'm putting in a concrete slab and I'm renting that slab out to someone who's putting a mobile home on it.
I would hope if you were doing that, you would have your own HOA basically that says,
Well, I mean,
yeah, minimum year,
Cassidy's is very well ran.
right, minimum square footage,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And you're exactly right. Because when I used to do lending on these, that's exactly what we looked for is, what's your covenants? Because that gave the ownership the ability to manage the project. We also wouldn't finance them unless there was a formal septic system in place that was inspected. Water was a different story. It could be well or it could be attached to a public municipality, but you had requirements for the well also. That you had enough capacity for all the slabs that were out there. So that's why when I see the park and you start getting to that level of detail of what's a good park that would be a new one that comes along, I'm not sure you want to go there and you want to consider everything on a case-by-case basis. Because that's when you get into all the public health stuff, that's water and septic and covenants and all those different things.
You over there on Hart Street. Vernal Pike and what's the crossroad if you're going down to Second, to 3rd Street and 46.
Vernal and Curry.
Curry.
Mhm.
Good Lord, probably those mobiles in there,
Yeah,
probably 60s model.
60s, yep. Mhm.
I mean,
And they're
they
probably,
seem to be well maintained.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not falling in or anything, but
Again, this would only lead to a new trailer park.
New trailer park.
Set up,
Right.
I mean, anything that's already there, so.
it's
It
grand.
has a minimum of 5, but there's no maximum.
There's a
Okay.
maximum of 6 per acre.
6 per acre. A minimum of 5 acres, but 6 per acre.
So you could have 30 on
But
top.
with your 25 foot and your 60 foot and all that set, but I don't know, you get 6 on an acre,
Yeah.
which is good.
Let alone have septic that would
Right.
handle it.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, yeah, I mean-
That's
You did
one,
that.
that's one of the words that's one of the things that I would like for you guys to take a closer look at when we get that far is how many it's permitting in our ordinance right now per acre.
okay, I go back. Any changes on page 1?
I think it'd be smart to make that last line of mobile home section. Mobile homes must meet or exceed federal and state mobile home construction code of 2000 rather than 1976. And put that in motion if you like.
Okay, I would say that. Is there a second?
Second?
Okay, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 oh. All right, page 2.
This is no mobile home should be located closer than 25 feet of any building. Is that going to include a shed?
I would say that.
I would say, I think for a storage shed for that building, for that mobile would be.
I think you should put a line in there that states that then, because,
The shed's no bigger than a certain size or something.
Right.
Because if you got 25 feet, you go build a putting in a roll-off shed in there that
Mhm.
10, 12 foot wide, and you start infringing.
So how do you want that worded?
I would say that this excludes storage sheds or auxiliary storage buildings of less than, and then we need to come up with a square footage.
100 square feet, so that's a 10 by 10.
Well, probably, I don't,
10 by 12.
I'd say go 200 square feet, and that's 20 by 10. Or that'd be a 15 by,
15 by 15.
So you'd be throwing out an 8 by 12 lawnmower shed.
that'd be 96 square
You'd
feet.
still be good there.
Yeah, I'm saying it can't be
It-
bigger than,
Not the
Bigger.
dimensions, just the square
Right.
right,
footage.
when you get up to the,
Okay.
400 square feet, now you got a tiny house.
All right.
Yeah,
So we need to keep it lower than that.
Okay. So,
So I would exclude outbuildings of less than, what would we say, 200 or 300 square feet?
Probably do 200. 200 is pretty good size.
200 square feet.
okay. Is that the form of a motion?
Sure.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Amy, I feel like I'm ignoring you. I keep turning this way on.
It's okay.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0.
Who was my second on
Daniel.
that? Because we went through the last couple I brought four in today, thinking that. At the moment.
Yeah, I think 6 mobile homes on an acre sounds like a lot. I lived in trailer parks, and I know lots I've rented and lived on definitely were in a quarter acre, that'd be 4 per acre.
You have to go 25 feet in between each one of them.
Well, if you hook up to a public septic system, no problem, but it's when you're,
Well,
yeah, when you're well and
they're not
septic.
well septic.
And you're pushing,
Yeah.
if you put a 16 by 80, 25 feet, you get 25, 16, 25, 16. Now, you're pushing acres.
So
real high.
here's that 350 foot minimum again. We didn't touch that though, did we?
Mhm.
Okay, so we're good there. We can leave that.
And how that acre's laid out too.
Right.
Yeah.
Not all acres are square 330s.
Exactly.
Anything else on page 2?
What about on bullet number 1, where it's talking about the minimum acreage? It says each mobile home park shall contain a minimum of 5 acres, and then down on, this is number 11, where it talks about 6 mobile homes per acre.
This is
Seems,
still a mobile
30
park
acres.
unless it's 5 acres.
well, I'm wondering if we're talking about well and septic, if it should be 1 mobile home per 2 acres as a minimum, if you're on well and septic. If you can hook up to public utilities, doesn't really matter. It's really the well and septic contamination issue.
I think that would be caught though, because this is on new, whenever John would issue the,
I wouldn't be opposed to saying that if you want to build a trailer park, you have to have connected to.
Public utilities.
Utility,
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. To keep things like that from happening,
Mhm.
maybe it's something we can add on.
As an extra bullet point.
More than likely, we're not gonna approve a mobile home park in an area where you can hook to public utilities.
Right.
We might not, but who knows what happens.
Exactly.
I'm just saying,
we all could be short timers.
Right.
oh no, anyway.
Are they gonna fit in the comprehensive plan?
Mhm.
So you're saying just make another number bullet and say all mobile home parks or must have services for sewer and septic, or sewer and water?
Sewer and water. Public utilities.
Could you just?
Public
add that-
utilities.
Add that to number one, each mobile home park should contain a minimum of 5 acres and have access.
And have access to Public Works.
I'll see what I was there.
Yep, that works for me.
Is that a motion?
Well, Bill said it.
I'll move.
Okay.
I'll second.
Sorry. I was writing, trying to get this.
Yep.
Any discussion? Not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion carries 6-0.
And so here you had coin operated laundries in the mobile home park and stuff too. Gonna add.
It's gonna be real hard to have coin operated laundry on
Right.
a sewer septic. Yeah.
Right. Real.
You guys were talking about storage instructions and outbuildings, is E8, does that cover that conversation? Because we have a minimum of 90 cubic feet in a fireproof building. Storage, under E8.
Where are you at?
Second page, number 8.
No, this is, I read that to say this is underneath the mobile.
It says or,
In a building of fireproof design or storage space under the mobile home may be used provided space.
building a fireproof design or storage space under the roof.
Hmm.
That's a minimum.
But then,
We put a max.
yeah, we put a max on it, that's all we did.
So just for that one.
But this, the way I read this, it's talking
We're
about,
talking about two different things.
yeah, this is underneath the house and
Underneath.
and the underpinning has to cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other penny would have to cover that.
So I think that's, each mobile home shall have access to and the use of a general storage space of a minimum of 90 cubic feet in the building, in a building of fireproof design or storage space.
So basically, it would have to be a block structure. rather than, you know, like
A building
this.
of
Put
fire,
a storm cellar underneath the
Mhm.
wall, basically. and then the-
but then it has to be blocked from view
Mhm.
Yeah,
by the underpinning.
basically, use it for a storm cellar.
I've never, has anybody ever seen anything like that?
I've seen where they put it, a foundation under it.
Right.
That, but never where it was.
No, Dad always used to chuck Christmas stuff right underneath that trailer.
Yeah. Now that I've seen, but,
Definitely wasn't fireproof.
yeah, definitely wasn't fireproof.
I just set it out in the yard during the regular part of the year and then bring it back inside.
That works too. That works.
Are we done with page 2? Page 3. Just for the record, 14 does not allow straw bales. Seen that a lot. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, they were good insulation. It's interesting that it says here, no street parking, but Cassidy's has some. But they are in the town of Spencer with their own
Hmm.
set of rules. I don't think town of Spencer allows any anymore, right?
I don't think the town of Spencer stops anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't think they inspect anything.
There's street parking on Hillside, I know that. Go there and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a pain.
Always some good work on Hillside.
And Main Street is another one that gets blocked up pretty good.
Mhm.
All right, so do you want to, I'm good with the mobile home stuff. Do we want to, then, are we going to lurch into recreational vehicle park?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're done with mobile home. We're moving on to 155.048 recreational vehicle parks.
Now, how far are we on, from the state standards on this one, Heather? You have any idea?
Sherry read as fast as she scrolls.
15 spaces per acre. Over there, 5 acres, you could have 75 campsites. 5 acres.
I don't have a quick, easy answer on that. I've spent most of my day honestly inside the Indiana Residential Code, which doesn't really talk about.
I'm thinking there might be a typo in number 2 down here under B. Creates a hazard to the park site or to the health and safety of occupants, not shall the site be subject to, shouldn't that be nor? Detect smoke odors or noise.
Where are you at? I'm sorry, Norm.
B, number 2, the second after the semicolon, it says not shall, I think that's supposed to be nor, because they're connecting 2 thoughts there. How you like that? That's my contribution, or English for the
That's a
evening,
good one.
boys and
I would
girls.
say work at school.
I was trying to read that, and it's like.
Yeah, well, not didn't work, it doesn't flow. I think it's nor. Sudden flooding or severe erosion. 15.
Don't we have an ordinance of how long someone can live in a recreational vehicle? We do not.
Not officially.
Is there a state that allows you to do it?
So up on our screen, recreational vehicle cannot be used as a permanent resident or on continuous occupancy for more than 4 consecutive unless in a designated campground. So if a guy has an acre of ground and he pulls a motorhome and stays there through the summer and goes to court, he's in violation. Well, the ticket revenue could be big from that one.
Deer season, you get
Yeah, I mean,
Unless
somebody take a week
he,
off to do
4 consecutive days?
it. Yeah.
Where's that at?
it's on the
On the
screen
screen.
here. This is state standards.
Yeah, I know people that have property around here that camp for a week, go there.
Yeah.
They spend 4 days in a deer stand around here.
Yeah.
Are we confusing that though with maybe a campground designation? Do we have a separate one for campground?
Well, this is a recreational vehicle
Vehicles.
park, I don't know what this.
Yeah, so to
recognition-
me, someone who goes hunting, that would be more of a campground structure than a recreational vehicle park.
Yeah, most of those are on private property,
Right.
with no designation of any kind.
Well, I mean, there's a place on Braysville Road that there's a great big pole barn with a great big lean-to. And the people used to pull their mobile home, or their travel trailer, and live in it through the summer, and then they go to Florida in the winter. Now, the big mobile home, or the big pole barn has a full kitchen and a great big dining room. They said, because we have family dinners and stuff, and they have bathrooms, that they're not using their camper bathroom in that pole barn.
But that would just be one?
Yeah, but by this, I think that makes it in violation.
Because ours says 2 or more recreational vehicles.
Now, this is what I'm saying, this is violation of state code.
Which we can't make anything more restrictive, or
Right.
less restrictive than that.
Right.
This isn't a residential park, though, it says right at
Right.
the top.
This looks like it actually traces back to LaPorte County on this particular code, not the state.
Oh,
Say that again, Heather?
This traces actually back to LaPorte County's ordinances, not the state's ordinance.
Okay.
And just for the record, what's the economy of LaPorte County? Recreational vehicles.
interesting, they'd want to regulate those, huh? So heavily.
It's like the first county that outlawed outside wood burners. You would never guess which county it is in Indiana.
No idea.
Pike County,
Where's that at?
Petersburg.
Oh,
What's the economy of Petersburg? A big coal factory, that electrical plant.
right.
They're worried about pollution.
Yeah.
More pollution, fellas.
Yeah. Depends on whose ox is getting gored. Are we good with page 3 then?
I don't see anything.
I don't see nothing there.
Commercial development standards.
You need to change plan board to planning commission.
Plan commission.
Don't you agree?
Where you at?
Very bottom 16.
Advisory.
There is no plan board, yeah, planning, well, what are we called now?
Plan commission, not
Plan-
planning, plan.
Plan commission? Okay, whatever we are, that's what that needs to say.
Okay. Half the page is 15 things and then whatever else.
Yeah.
Signs and off-street parking, I like that page, it's fine, I think.
Somebody needs to show this to the guy at Clover Dale.
Do what?
Where?
Guy up there by Mill Grove with his, speaker competitions or whatever they're doing. I've heard people complaining about that a lot. Number 5 on that second page of that section. No unsafe, uncomfortable, or offensive vibration, noise, visual effects, odors, or air pollution. The vibration, noises, or heat. There's been a lot of people complaining about him with his bass competitions up there.
Is he a commercial?
I believe so.
Where's he at?
Used to be one of our shop right there by Mill Grove. I can't think of, mechanic shop right there by Mill Grove.
Where Dale McCollum,
You mean
Yeah.
McCollum's old place?
what are they doing there?
Just have been having like bass, like has a big speaker competition.
Like playing basses, bass guitar?
No, like bumping stereo systems. you hear.
Oh, okay.
In cars or?
It's pretty crazy for the neighbors that are dealing with that.
That's news to me.
Yeah, I've seen plans about it.
Exterior lighting, which will be such as this.
Why is that in there twice?
What's that?
The no unsafe, uncomfortable, or offensive vibration noises. It's up under number 5 on this page, and then down under D1, under special exceptions.
Well, yeah, I don't know, because, well, that's saying 6 AM to 6 PM. This one doesn't have a time frame on it.
Right.
But both of them are kind of saying the same thing.
D2 board would need to be changed to plan commission again.
Yeah, or else you have to have something at the very beginning that says board does mean planning commission. I'd say, I would just change it here. You know how it'll say further reference as board? We'd have to do that at the very beginning. I think you just change it here.
Am I reading 7B to say if I had a business and I wanted to paint the side of my building to read real estate sign, I can't do it, I'm restricted to 15%.
15% of the face of the building.
It's not,
But this is for an attached sign. Would you consider a mural an attached sign?
No, I mean, if I had it attached. I mean, the building I had used to have a sign that was 24 by 8.
But you're in town too.
Yeah, but it's not, just,
Yeah.
yeah. Are we ready to move over to section D on the next page, beginning of line, landscaping?
Did we want to clean up that one repetitive item?
Sorry?
So that,
That one repetitive item on noise, did we want to delete one of those?
I think I think it's two different things.
You think it's too,
Because you got commercial and then commercial against, or bordering residential areas.
oh, okay.
Take that whole page is a lot of just suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, I'm okay with telling somebody that, hey, plant some trees might muffle some noise, but not telling them, hey, you have to plant this many trees. And lighting.
anytime we've had like Dollar Dinner with the boys, require that they have lighting facing certain directions,
Right.
tree barriers, neighbors,
Downward.
yeah, stuff that we already normally address anyway.
That H and I are both holdovers from the first planning that we had, where you got so many points if you used a local contractor, and so many points if you bought locally. And what it boils down to, you can build a piece of junk if you bought the material local use. It's dumb. wrote me today about us needing to address something about solar farms. Did you get a copy of
I saw that last night, for that, Nick Dillon.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that last night. He's got a point.
He's got a point.
Mhm.
My concern is, where one of them, they've talked about doing this county's already zoned commercial.
He's got a,
Flatwoods.
I think we'll go by that right there. Private farming land should not be built upon, except as a last resort to preserve the value of crop production.
But what is the last resort?
I'd rather have this, what is prime farmland?
Yes,
You're
because
talking
that's,
somebody from Benton County, we don't have prime farmland.
because that's where our ordinances have failed us in situations in the past, is that they are not detailed enough to restrict things that need looked into further. And we can't stop or slow any of those down because our ordinances are too vague.
Right, yeah, we would have to specify what is prime farmland and what is a last resort.
Are we good with everything ready to go to industrial development standards?
What are you thinking, Daniel, on this? You wanting to see something else in there?
I think it takes work to put something else in there, but
I mean, that thing the guy sent us was pulled out of somebody else's
That's what I was
ordinances.
gonna say, we could always come back, research,
that's something, yeah, we should probably
That's,
spell that out a little more. What is prime farmland, what is last resort?
well, prime farmland to me is flat and easily accessible from a road of some kind.
It doesn't flood,
What's that?
it doesn't flood,
And doesn't flood, not in a floodplain.
yeah.
Although farming floodplain's about the only thing you can do with
The
it
window's
because,
gonna have to be flat, but doesn't reach
Yeah, but
a very.
I think if you get into it, it'd probably be something with an average corn yield of above X. So say if you talk to people in Benton County in that black farmland, we don't have
Right.
prime farmland here.
Right, right. But for our area, what is prime farmland?
So you're saying we need to come up with a definition of what prime farmland
just
is
pull one up.
inserted in
Yeah,
there?
for Owen County, not
Right.
for Northern
should've-
Virginia.
There's the definition on your screen, folks.
So what is last resort?
Oh, prime farmland.
Prime farmland in the end,
Suited for
that's for producing.
I'd be okay with taking that all right there and slapping it right here in
I agree.
this K.
You make the motion, and I'll second.
I make a motion that we take this, the following definition of prime farmland, including the bullet points, and add them after crop production in K.
I'll second.
Properly moved and seconded, we insert these definitions that are on the screen in that. Any discussion?
Make sure you get you a screenshot of that, Heather.
Picture of it. Tomorrow she'll never remember where she found it. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Industrial,
Hey, Bill, before you, one question I had on item I,
okay.
where it says erosion control measures should be provided on hillsides to prevent the loss of ground and reduce pollution. The word should just has no teeth in it, and if it's truly on a hillside, should we change that verbiage to be something that,
Not suggested, but mandatory.
yes, mandatory,
Will,
and,
change the should to will.
yeah, or some sort of a analysis provided of what sort of erosion control is appropriate for the hillside in question. And that should be enacted, something like that.
I'd be okay with must in there, must be provided on hillsides to
Yeah.
prevent loss of ground and reduce pollution.
That motion?
Sure.
Second?
Motion second, we insert the word must be provided.
And replace should.
Correct, should. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Right.
All opposed, same sign.
Anything else, Bill?
That was it?
Industrial development standards.
We need to tread through this very lightly because we have these coming up.
Do we?
Potentially.
Which is a good thing, right?
It can be,
Depending on the type of industry.
yeah. I mean, we had that transfer station out there, which was a mess. I mean, it was very contentious.
Or the Crystal process.
Yeah, the crystal
yeah.
processing was a big deal too.
Yep.
But there again, it's almost a base, based on what they're talking about and where and when.
Mhm. Which that really addresses the top of the next page. So here's a question for the top of the next page, that first paragraph where it says, heavy industrial uses, and this word again, should be located away from residential and commercial uses.
Sign me where you're at, I'm sorry.
The very top paragraph, Bill, on the next page.
Are you on the one with the top line is stone processing plants?
I think that's what it is, like
Go back one more.
we had heavy industry, plus we also had residential in that same area.
Right.
I think that's what that's covering.
So I'm wondering, because I think this goes to, Norm, your comment of if it's something obnoxious, that it creates an issue, should it more, instead of heavy industrial uses, should be located, should gives you no teeth whatsoever when you're trying to enforce that.
Right.
Should it be, must be located away, and then at the end of that sentence, variances.
Away.
What's that?
I mean, what is away too? That's the other
Yeah, that,
question.
yeah. But putting must be, and then variances are, at the end of that paragraph, variances considered on a case-by-case basis. Because should just, you've got nothing to lean on. If you've got somebody coming in with a lawyer who's gonna push on that,
Must be located away from residential.
Thing is, it taking a while, I'm talking about that, not bottling anything there, but actually bottling it elsewhere. I've seen that.
The other thing that you'll run into on, because mineral extraction is considered heavy, is we have quarries right next to residential, which is already in violation of this, but they're grandfathered in, I
grandfathered
guess.
in, right?
But I could see the residents who are living next to it coming in and going, hey,
But they're grandfathered in.
Right.
But some of the nicer developments in Bloomington are along edges of stone
True.
quarries.
Yeah,
it's true. But they're not currently pulling rock out there, right? Or are they?
No, some of them
some
are.
are, yeah.
I agree with you, though, should needs to be, maybe must.
The
With
motion-
variances, with opportunities for variances.
Yeah, I think that proviso at the end would be, you know,
So is that a motion?
I'll let Bill make it because he knows what he's saying.
Okay, so the first motion is heavy industrial uses must, just changing the word must, be located away from residential and commercial areas.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Norm seconds. Any discussion?
I think we need
Pardon me?
I think he's
to,
gonna
maybe we
have
need to
motion.
clarify exactly what away, how far away, maybe.
No,
Is it,
we'll deal with the main motion
Yeah,
we
let's-
got now, and I
Yeah,
think
then we
he
jump
said
into
the
that.
first motion, so I think he's got something.
I got
else.
two, yeah.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Right. That's just to change should to must, right?
Yeah, which
Okay.
is should to must. Then at the end of that sentence that ends in commercial uses, variances will be considered on a case-by-case basis by, is that this body?
That's BZA.
That'd be BZA.
BZA. That would be the second motion.
I think the light industrial sentence should be before the heavy industrial, since it's laid out that way in the
Oh,
document.
yeah, good point.
If you take a friendly amendment.
Mhm.
You got all that, Heather?
Yep, I agree with it, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because you're reading down through and you
Yep.
pop into heavy and then, oh, by the way, light, which
Yep.
is ahead of it in the document.
Mhm.
Even the permitted
And then the variance thing is more for the heavy than it is the light.
Right.
Correct.
It should flow sequentially.
All right, we have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Chad? Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
And then Chad, what was yours? Was defining?
He said away needs to be
Yeah.
better defined, which he's right.
How far away is far enough?
I mean,
Yeah.
depends on if it's your backyard.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
And it depends on what it is too, because like a creosote plant,
Yeah, you don't get one.
50 miles,
Right.
you know?
Well, I don't know what this this shredding creosote post,
Right, that's what,
but whenever John Reeves and I have talked to people at the state, we're said, leave them alone. And the people say that they've got some politician in their pocket, we can't do anything with it.
it's that Chad Van.
And one of the things is that causes a way high incidence of testicular cancer.
Mhm.
Did they ever,
No,
because that was my point of contention from the get-go, was the impervious,
they never did.
that was supposed to,
And we can't make them through the state.
the state says leave them alone. That's so much for local control over things.
Yes.
And explain that to me, Bill. How does the state say leave them alone?
I would say they bought off some politicians.
At the local level?
No, the state.
But,
Air quality and stuff is a state regulated.
got it, okay,
EPA.
got it.
And.
But we have the ability to control,
We
If
were
it's-
told, they went to court and the court said leave them alone. It's up to the state.
We were concerned about groundwater mainly.
so, but explain that to me. They went to court against who?
Us.
Us,
Yeah.
and we lost.
Yeah.
Got it, okay,
We're like 0-2.
okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And we tried it on a rock quarry once and that didn't work out either
Okay,
because
understand.
mineral extraction is
That was when I told them.
a base right, I guess. If you own the property, you can extract the minerals to it, so.
Yeah, well, and let's talk about that a little
But if
bit.
it cease operation, would they grandfather in?
Yeah, but let's talk about that for a little bit. So I've been in several different court cases. When you lose, an attorney always attacks you based on your policies and procedures. So most likely, if we lost because documentation like this is lacking. And that, so like these words of should and must and those things, as soon as I see the word should, we have absolutely no control, no power. If I go into
Yeah,
court,
suggested.
I'm gonna lose. So for the future state though, as we start defining those things, so like your example, Chad, of a way, what is a way? A way is not just one single statement, it's gonna be based on how obnoxious these different challenges are, or how health threatening they are. So here again, that might be defined on the basis of what type of smoke, noise, dust, chemicals are being brought into there. So that's where, when we start taking these very lightly and not defining them out in great detail, that's why we'll lose a lawsuit.
We
Absolutely.
lost the quarry one because you can't stop a man from getting rock where there's rock.
And it's probably been there for years,
Yeah.
which is different than something brand new.
So on this away, I don't even know how to define it, Chad. Because if let's say I'm on an industrial zoned property, and the property next door is commercial, how do I force either party to be away from the other?
Let's see if you can prove that, you know, you can keep noise to a minimum, or you can keep
Right.
dust to a minimum.
Then you can put it there.
Maybe rather
Then that
than,
would be your,
right,
What
maybe
about
rather than
variance?
located away, we should say some sort of buffer
right,
to control sound and debris, maybe?
Heather,
you got noise, vibrations, dust, glare,
Right.
you know, all, you got all that.
Yeah, we could go back and grab that little paragraph from the
Yeah, you take that
previous.
whole paragraph.
Right.
Heavy industrial uses must be located away from residential and commercial uses
As far as possible.
as far as possible, and then stipulate, depending upon the circumstance, the BZA has
I mean, there is
Discretion.
setbacks
a,
on
yeah.
yeah,
where the building would have to sit on the property kind of thing, that way it's already in
Kind
there.
of like we did with the guy that was doing tier 10, the sound stuff. We turned him the other direction to so that the sound was moving away from the residential.
And that's what I was gonna say,
I
necessarily
noticed
with
Mhm.
something that's mineral industrial, at what point would that need to come before the plan commission? Is that something that the plan commission would actually make decisions on, or would that be another variance for the BZA? Or would this just be plan commission, I'm planning on putting in this mineral industrial business?
If it's already, if it was already commercial or industrial,
BZA.
then it's BZA.
Yeah.
If it's a piece of property that was residential and they're wanting to make it commercial, then we could use this criteria to be a reason to say no.
Right.
But if we're gonna do that, away is not gonna be strong enough. We're gonna have to say
Yeah.
at least one adjacent property, at least a half a mile. We're gonna have to give some criteria to go off of.
Our adjacent neighbor notifications for petitions are 663 feet, which is like an eighth of a mile.
Yeah.
Heather, do you have any resources with, I'm thinking, when you get into some of these really nasty things with like EPA, where, I mean, they've already went through the vetting process, and they probably helped other municipalities with this before. Of, you know, if it's this type of industry, you want this so far away from residential. So it's already been legally vetted, and they would have good definitions that we could just copy and paste right in there on some of the more nasty stuff.
Let me make this suggestion, can we just have her research that and bring it to us?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think this section we leave alone for now, pending research, and then bring it back
So
at a future meeting.
I think you got like 3 homework assignments
You didn't have anything to do, right?
Not enough, no, never enough.
there. Okay. If I get through this and be out of here by 8 o'clock, we've got 6 minutes.
Awesome, that's what I can say.
Air pollution, see, that addresses a lot of what we were talking about, water pollution, waste matter.
There's those numbers in here.
We got a pretty full agenda next month, though.
It's not a lot for
Okay.
planning commission this month. You have maybe one thing. Um,
Paul, what do you think?
Here you go, Chad, on the last page.
What's on that?
Buffering or screening of industrial areas to adjacent land uses is required if the adjacent land use is residential or recreational and is highly encouraged for other conflicting land uses as well, or uses.
Where's that at?
It's on the last page at the very top.
First line, the last page.
I would say on the mineral extraction, let me go back and look, make sure it's not already in there. I'd like to see us require a bond and pre-inspection of foundations and wells within a certain radius around that site. That is not too much to ask, and we've asked that before. If you're gonna be blasting and moving things that you need to check out, I don't know how far out. That might be another standard we have to look up. But the other problem we had out here is my well's bad. Well, was it bad before it started happening?
A lot of wells are bad out there before they.
Right, I mean, there's no water up there, so is it that guy's fault, or is the well just inherently bad? Was your foundation wall cracked before he started blasting, or did it get cracked because of the blasting? If there's no inspection process and there's no bond issued or made to be issued, then you have nothing to cover you.
The sad part we had the stone company to agree to that. Our attorney said, no, we can stop them.
Right, we should have had them agree to it and been done with it.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if it was in here so that they knew that was part of the process.
Yeah.
Now, where you put it is
We're
beyond me.
talking about Norm here, though. We're gonna change this from
If
highly
you
encouraged to
look
required.
again on that last page.
Yeah, I think so.
All the way at the bottom is that prime farmland again.
And,
We probably will put that same definition right back into it.
right. Now we're including, I guess, forest lands too, which we didn't have in residential.
Right. Yeah.
Let's go back and revisit that mineral extraction next month as well.
Yeah, I think so. We need to just make a note that we want to look at some wording that would include a bond and inspection process before they go into production.
And Bill, one thing we talked about on the last, Norm and I took that last page, top item G.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to change where it says "and is highly encouraged" to "and is required."
Highly encouraged and required?
No,
No, just
remove
Required.
encouraged and put required.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
I'll second that. Now that's specific to conflicting land uses, in other words, residential or something else right next to it.
Okay. Changing word highly encouraged to required. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0.
On, Norm, where you were talking about bond and pre-inspection process included before production, are you guys gonna do a motion and vote on that also? Or did we, or did
I think we revisit it, but on the next meeting, but, in the meantime, we need to see, there's probably already some verbiage somewhere at the state level on mineral extraction. So we need to see what's required of a mineral extraction person before they start blasting and things, and then we just use their verbiage and everything and put it into our ordinance. So that when we start asking for this, if anybody ever does buck us, we can say, no, it's right here. You will do this out to and I don't know what that range is. I don't know if it's 1/8 of a mile, I don't know if it's 2 properties deep, I don't know if it's 1/4 mile, I don't know. And that may be dependent upon, it probably is dependent upon how much dynamite they're using.
Yep.
So there's probably a chart. If we could get that chart in there, that'd be awesome. And that way, we're covered.
Yep.
And we cover our residents, which
Yep.
is like,
Under 2I on the last page, the erosion control measures should be provided.
So that's gonna have to be changed to,
We'll change it.
That's, we changed it to must, yeah.
I think it's the same line, just done a different,
Yeah, we probably need to change that to must then, just like we did before.
change the commercial section, not the industrial
Right.
section.
Motion to change that under erosion, shall to must.
Mm-hmm.
You making that as a motion?
yes.
Is there a second? Daniel seconds. Any discussion? All those, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Do we need a motion to add that definition for prime farmland to this?
Yeah, we'll just carry over.
Just carry over? Okay.
All right. Guys, we've got a lot done tonight. I appreciate you all. Coming out. Welcome.
Thank you.
I will bring the minutes back to the next meeting, because we did not have a quorum to vote on those. So they'll come back. Because we had a 9 total, but we had 2 abstain,
Right.
Yeah.
so that left 4 of those.
I'll check Robert's rules, but I think they're wrong. If they were here, we still have a majority.
Hmm,
Okay.
could be.
Is this saying it's not a yes or no vote, but it's a present?
It's an abstain.
I'll double
Because you
check.
still had enough to pass.
So, new business we have none.
Huh? Yeah.
And then I would mention public comment, just to be safe.
Or any public comment? Seeing none.
Seeing none.
The motion to adjourn.
I'll make that.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All want to stay all night, same sign. Guys. Hey, I was able to leave.
What's that?
Those pins work.
They did work?